Welcome to a student's teaching. This is a series in which we will start to present teachings, learnings, trainings, methods, different guidances from different gurus in our life that has had a deep impact on our well-being and our spiritual journey. Today's teaching is brought to you by Hanuman. Oh, he has so much love for you. And through related lineage, we'll be reading a passage from another one of our gurus, Swami Satyananda Saraswati. I apologize if I have not pronounced that correctly. I have not been trained on proper pronunciation, but I feel them in my heart. So let's get into that. What we'll do is begin by reading a passage. This one's rather long. It might take 15 or 20 minutes or so for us to navigate it. And then what we'll do at the end of the passage is relate how the practice is formed in our life, how it has impacted our well-being, and then of course invite you to research it further and possibly adopt it in your life as well. Get the whistle blended here. The Sanskrit word Japa means to rotate. The practice is so called because it involves continuous rotation of mala, synchronized with a mantra. Mala are these beats right here. Mantra is generally a mental statement or an internal statement that you tie to an emotion or a well-being or a practice of unfolding for yourself. Generally, the practice is done for a fixed number of mantra repetitions or for a set period of time. Japa is a meditation practice. The chanting can be aloud or silent. Japa can be further defined as rhythmical mantra chanting with mala rotation and with awareness. For maximum benefits, it must be practiced regularly. Japa is probably the most widespread and universal meditative system. It is an integral part of yoga and tantra as well as Hinduism in general. Many traditional scriptures describe the practice and merits of japa, especially tantric texts. Many of the ancient yogis are pictured practicing japa. According to tradition, Brahma, the creator of the universe, caused everything to be created by continual japa of the mantra Om. Such is the importance of japa in the spiritual life. Japa is not only confined to India. The Buddhist path of Mahayana widely uses japa with a mala of 108 beads plus 3 extra beads which represent the refuge in the Dharma, Buddha and Sangha respectively. The more orthodox systems of Christianity also widely use japa. Anyone who has been to a Roman Catholic monastery, nunnery, or school will have seen the monks or nuns rotating their rosaries. Anyone who has been to Greece or to other Balkan countries, where the Greek Orthodox Church is prevalent, will know that nearly all men carry a rosary with them. Whatever they do, whether walking, talking, sitting, or working, they continually rotate their beads wherever it is possible. Whether most of these people realize the reason for the rosary is uncertain, but nevertheless the tradition continues. It seems more than a possibility that this system was introduced so that each individual could practice japa throughout the whole day. Rationale. Concentration is impossible for most people, for there are too many inner and outer disturbances. During meditative practice, one is either overwhelmed by a continuous stream of inner mental chatter, worries, etc., or on the other hand, one is unable to break away from the mental noises and other disturbances. But both of these distractions prevent meditation. Of course, the inability to shut off outer noises is really a byproduct of inner turmoil. If there is inner peace, then one can automatically shut off outer influences. This is verifiable. You can verify this in your life. Another trap in meditative practices is sleep. It is so easy for the practitioner to gain a little relaxation, and because of this being such a rare thing, immediately start feeling drowsy and fall asleep. This is also verifiable in your life. Don't take our word for it. One must relax but remain wide awake. We have said that so many times before that we are repeating it because this is a trap that so many people fall into. Another trap is forced concentration. Many people realize the importance of concentration and try to force it, which causes tension and not real concentration. Real concentration arises naturally through the relaxed mind. So we have a dilemma. Either one does not try to concentrate. This generally leads to the pitfalls already mentioned, namely sleep, absorption in outside noises, etc., or forgetfulness in the inner bubbling thoughts of the mind. 2. One forces concentration in an endeavor to prevent sleep or the tendency to lose oneself in the outer world or the thought process. This generally leads to mental tension. Both of the above approaches are incorrect and will tend to lead one away from gaining the benefits of meditative practice. The answer, as we have already said, is not to concentrate, but instead remain aware. Japa is a wonderful system of maintaining individual awareness. Furthermore, it prevents the practitioner becoming lost either in the outer world or in the inner world of thoughts. It also helps to prevent sleep or drowsiness. Let us discuss how this is achieved. During japa, one has to do 2 things: chant a mantra and rotate the beads of the mala. These act as a point of reference for awareness. After a short time of practice, one gets into a rhythm. The movement of the mala becomes synchronized with the chanting. Your mind and body, one hand, have to do something. This prevents the pitfalls that we have already mentioned in the following manner. Number 1 pitfall, sleep. If one tends to fall asleep, then the mantra repetition and the movement of the mala will become unrhythmical, or will stop altogether. This will tend to bring about wakefulness, and if necessary, one can wash the face with cold water. Of course, if you totally lapse into deep sleep, then the breaking of the rhythm will not help. You will be dead to the world. But in this case, you are probably very tired and need sleep. So there is no harm done. But the main point to remember is that the breaking of the rhythm of the mantra and the mala rotation tends to help you be aware of sleepiness, and then you can rectify the situation. 2. Preoccupation with the outside world. The rotation of mala and the chanting of mantra will quickly and automatically tend to make you introvert. This is particularly true if you chant the mantra with feeling and intensity. 3. Absorption with the inner thought process. The important thing is that you don't suppress the thoughts. Let them arise, but you must be aware of them. You must not be totally lost in them. Don't become identified with them. You must watch them as a witness. Japa is an excellent method of being able to watch the thoughts without becoming totally lost in them. The method is as follows. You must, in a sense, split your awareness. This is verifiable in your life that you can do this. That is, you must simultaneously be attentive to all the continuous thoughts that arise, as well as the mantra and the rotation of the mala. Let the thoughts come, but also be aware of the practice of japa. If you start to become lost in your thoughts, then you will stop rotating the mala, or the rotation of the mala and the chanting of the mantra will become uncoordinated. Whatever happens, you will quickly notice the loss of awareness in the japa, and you can then again eventually split your awareness. You must keep on doing this. Eventually, if you practice correctly and for a sufficient amount of time, the thought process will tend to exhaust itself. Mental turmoil subsides. There is a gradual transference. The mind becomes overwhelmed by the repetitive mantra instead of the bubbling thoughts. The mind automatically becomes calm and more one-pointed. Your awareness will become riveted by the mantra and the process of japa. That is exactly what is required. At this stage, the mind will become very relaxed and, not by suppression, but by exhaustion of the surface thoughts, and a gradual weaning away of one's tendency to lapse into a reverie of thoughts. This is verifiable in your life. As you practice japa intentionally, as you rotate more and more, you will notice the thoughts start to subside. They stop being so loud. They stop being so forcefully pulling you away from your intention of the japa. The first several times you practice japa, you will notice how strong their pulls are. You will notice how easy it is to forget the number of your japa rotations, or to fall out of the mantra and begin focusing on something else, or of course to notice the dampening of your rotation in the mala, meaning you had a nice steady pace, you were moving I am, and all of a sudden it became I am. You'll notice. This state of natural thoughtlessness combined with awareness is a prelude to meditation. Actually, the continual bubbling of the thought process is positive, especially when they come from deeper realms of the subconscious mind. These are your inner problems. By watching them, you will remove them. But the thoughts that most people become lost in during meditative practices tend to be very superficial thoughts. Bring the speed down a little bit. I realize we're rushing through this. We're very excited to be here with you. But the thoughts that most people become lost in during meditative practices tend to be very superficial thoughts. These have to be gradually wiped away through japa so that one can see deeper. So japa initially acts to systematically wean away one's attention from these superficial thoughts, which are merely a distraction. When your mind becomes one-pointed and you become deeply absorbed in the mantra, you may be suddenly confronted with a vision or thought that arises almost unexpectedly. This represents one of your deeper problems, and it is this that needs to be removed. Mere awareness will do this. It is at this stage where you are going below surface thoughts that you are starting to clean out the mind. 4. Concentration. This will rise automatically. When you have exhausted the continuous bombardment of your thoughts through japa, that is, awareness leads to concentration of mind. When you have exhausted the disruptive thoughts of the mind, then you will have no choice but to concentrate. You will be almost forced to concentrate. Japa is simple, yet effective method of overcoming all the pitfalls that we previously mentioned. This is why it is such a widely practiced method. It provides a balance between absorption in the outside world and its opposite, total loss in the world of thoughts. It helps to bring concentration through awareness. It provides a method of calming the chatter of the mind not by mental suppression, but by allowing the thoughts to arise, while anchoring awareness to a mantra and mala rotation. It is very sensible, scientific method. It is a useful tool for people who don't have a concentrated mind, which is most people. The mala and its use. The mala is an essential part of the techniques of japa. That said, I want to preface this with, if you are not able to access mala, you can also use different ways to intentionally tie yourself to japa. Without a mala, we have had moments where we practice japa with connecting our thumb to our fingertips, each one being one contact. I am, I am, I am, I am, or I am, I am, I am, I am, 8, I am, and so forth. As we have already stated, it is mainly a tool to maintain awareness. It can be made of various types of material depending on the tradition. The malas widely used in yoga are made of either sandalwood, tulsi, or rudraksha beads. I'm sure somebody knows how to pronounce that. The mala that most sadhakas, oh, I know this word. We'll just go with practicers. The mala that most practicers use today for their japa is made of tulsi wood. Crystal stones can also be used among various other materials. Malas with different numbers of beads can be used. In yoga, the usual number is either 108, 54, or 27. The latter is called Sumirani mala and is used for japa practicing during one's daily activities. We will discuss this later. The beads are generally strung on a strong thread and are separated from each other by a special type of knot called the knot Brahma. Each mala has an extra bead called the junction or summit. This bead is offset from the main loop of the mala at the point where the two ends of the mala are joined. The bead is an essential part of the mala. It acts as a reference point so that the practitioner can know the number of mala rotations he has made. That is this one signified with the extra little overflow of the string here, but you will definitely notice it when you come to it. This bead is offset from the main loop of the mala at the point where the two ends of the mala are joined. The bead is an essential part of the mala. It acts as a reference point so that the practitioner can know the number of mala rotations he has made. That is, the practitioner starts the japa practice from the beginning bead, the summit bead, the junction bead, and proceeds to rhythmically rotate the mala bead by bead. There is a smooth flow and rotation of the mala until the obstruction of the summit bead. This will immediately tell the individual that he has completed one round of mala. It also has another use. It is easily possible, as we have already explained, to forget that one is doing japa. The mind wanders even though the mala is being rotated. The mala is rotated automatically without awareness. When the fingers reach the offset summit bead, awareness is once again returned to the practice at hand. This is a special method of holding the mala. There is a special method of holding the mala. Basically, the intention that they're trying to share here is when you start at this summit bead and work your way around, when you reach the tail end and reach the summit bead again, if you're lost in the awareness of doing the japa, this will bring you back to grounding in your practice to remind you that you are here mentally practicing the japa. In the case of this japa, it will be 108 mantras that you will have completed by the time you return to that summit bead. There is a special method of holding the mala. The mala should be held in the right hand, support the mala by the loop formed by joining the tip of the thumb and the ring finger. The middle finger should be used to rotate the mala. The second finger and the small finger should not be used but held clear of the mantra, clear of the mala. Naturally, that is the traditional way. Practice however feels good to you. I personally don't use that form, but I understand that there are some concepts behind not using the pointer finger because it's used for blame or accusation, and instead of using the other fingers for the rotation of mala. You should count the number of times you rotate the mala. This can be done mentally, or it can be done by using the left hand as follows. After one mala rotation, place the left thumb on the first joint line of the base of the left little finger. After the second mala rotation, raise the thumb to the second joint line. After the third, place the thumb on the upper line of the little finger. And then on the fourth rotation, transfer the left thumb to the first line of the ring finger, and so on. This is essentially a way to use your fingers to help navigate if you're doing multiple rotations, meaning 108 multiple times, which typically doesn't happen when you're beginning, but as you practice, you may find yourself going deeper and deeper. You use this as a practice to maintain awareness of how many rotations you've done. And by the movement and practicing of that, you'll know all of a sudden, oh, my thumb's on the upper line of the little finger, so I've done 3 rotations. Whatever it may be, whatever practice you might do, you might find a different way to track your rotations. Maybe you just stick one thumb out. That's one rotation. Stick your index finger out. That's 2 rotations. So on and so forth. Traditionally, Japa is practiced while holding the right hand in front of the heart. There is a lot of sense in this if you chant your mantra in the rhythm with your heartbeat. And this is something that happens automatically, almost without effort. Or it does if you chant one syllable mantra such as Om. It does not apply with polysyllable mantras. Also, holding the hand in front of the heart seems to intensify the feeling with which one chants the mantra. Feeling comes from the heart, so it is said. If you prefer to hold your right hand in any position, you can do so. The choice is yours. According to tradition, it is said that the mala used for japa should not be worn during the day, and that when it is not being used for japa, it should be carefully wrapped in one piece of cloth. This is done to prevent any negative change in the vibrations associated with the mala. Also, it is said that other people should not even see your mala. You can adhere to these rules if you wish. Again, the choice is up to you. I personally love to wear my mala. I love to wear it wrapped around my hand several times as a bracelet. I love to wear it around my neck, especially in private. I will sometimes do in public, but regardless, it always keeps me grounded. If it's tucked away in a bag somewhere, I don't have that to always pull me down. But if I glance at my wrist while I'm grocery shopping, or any other of the numerous activities we find ourselves doing in society, it reminds me to stay grounded in my mantra and to come back to that place where I know we are all one. Which mantra for practice? There are innumerable mantras. The sound patterns of a mantra will stimulate a certain effect on the mental and physical nature of the individual. I invite you to research mantras, popular Sanskrit mantras, all religions have mantras essentially. I invite you to try to find something that really grounds you and ties into you. We know traditionally you're not supposed to share your mantras, but within the Love Tribe, everything is shared and there are no secrets here. Our personal mantra for several years that we've used in Japa practice and a Japa practice, it has become automatic. As soon as we wake up, we are connected to it, and while we're going to bed, we're connected to it, and it repeats in our heads several thousand times a day. Our mantra began as I am love. It transfers and transitions between I am love and we are love, depending on which energy field I'm connected to at the time. More often, as I keep moving forward in my spiritual practice, I hear we more often than I. Again, I invite you to use that practice if it connects with you. You are love, and that is definitely your birthright to use that mantra. Each mantra will tend to create, or perhaps draw out, is a better term, a specific symbol within one's psyche. Ideally, the mantra should be received directly from a guru or a person who has elevated awareness, for it is said in the Tantra, only the mantra which is received from the guru will release its power. If you have received a mantra through initiation in this manner, then you should continue to use it in japa. It is best if you don't change it except for a very good reason. Again, here, we are no guru, we are students. There is no initiation, only invitation. It is best if you don't change it except for a very good reason. The following are the most valid reasons for changing your mantra. 1. Your guru gives you another mantra. 2. Through attaining an elevated state of awareness, you realize another mantra, which is so overwhelming and compelling that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is your mantra. This often happens, and the new mantra should be adopted. You receive a mantra in a dream. In this case, It is advisable to consult a guru for verification of the sustainability and suitability of the mantra for your own use. It is too easy to auto-suggest oneself in dreaming up a mantra. And this is definitely not the correct mantra. If you have not received a personal mantra from a guru, or if you have not realized your mantra in an intense flash of light, then you should use Om or Om. You can also use its equivalent, Amen. It is a universal mantra and is suitable for all types of people. It is an ideal mantra for Japa practice. We've got a couple more pages here. We're getting through this very well. We appreciate you joining us in this adventure, in this student's teaching, and this sharing. We thank Hanuman for the ability to pass forward some of the teachings that his lineage and his devotees and the gurus of which he has guided through the ages to us. For we are beyond blessed to have the transmission of such wealth of information such as this. Truly a blessing. We're going to take about 30 seconds here to a minute to get some water, and then we'll dive back into it.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram.
The three modes of Japa. There are three basic types of Japa defined as follows. First is articulated Japa. This mantra can be chanted as loud as you wish. This is the most suitable form of Japa for beginners and those people who have a disturbed mind. In fact, when you feel depressed, tense, angry, or unhappy, this is one of the most effective methods of making the mind peaceful. Incidentally, articulated Japa is widely practiced in groups throughout the world. It is very powerful. If the reader has been to an ashram and heard 50 people chanting early in the morning in a meditation hall, he will understand the power of collective chanting. The whole atmosphere is charged with positive vibrations. In some ashrams, articulated Japa is practiced continuously day in and day out. Various people take it in turns to keep the Japa resonating throughout the ashram. In the Sivananda ashram, home of the Divine Life Society, the Maha Mantra, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, has been going unceasingly since 1943. Ram, Rama, Ram, Ram, Ram. Whispering or inarticulate Japa. In this form, the lips are moved, but they create no loud external sound. Only practitioners can hear the mantra. This is the stage in which leads from the simpler articulated Japa to the more subtle mental Japa. This mode of practice is often done by people who practice long periods of Japa, perhaps 10 or 12 hours a day, for a fixed period of time. It is particularly useful in cases where one is unable to do articulated Japa to avoid creating disturbances in your environment, perhaps for fear of waking your sleeping children in the morning or late at night. If loud chants of Om will disturb your family or neighbors, then practice whispering Japa. Mental Japa, number 3. Then no audible sound is emitted, yet the mantra is clearly heard mentally. This is the most suitable of the 3 modes. It should be done when the mind is calm and reasonably free of thoughts. If you do mental Japa with a disturbed mind, then you are most likely to sink into a pleasant sleep or become lost in the thought process. If practiced with a calm state of mind, mental Japa is the best mode to delve deeper into the mind. I will say I have certainly practiced all of these. The articulated Japa certainly helps in certain modes in which you find yourself sinking in the depths. when you're swimming through the samsara, especially when you're isolated, especially when you're alone. Some of you may have had the experience of psychedelics. There are some times when some people refer to trips as bad trips. Sometimes you have those bad trips without psychedelics, depending on what influences or experiences or what may have you is going on in your life. There are a lot of things that can take us to those depths. The articulated japa, the loud chanting of the japa of your mantra, can help pull you out of those depths. It can help bring you out. It can help balance you. It can help rise you. It can help you in those moments of need. Whispering mantra is good anywhere. You can be whispering your mantra beneath your breath everywhere you go. I would say mental japa is pretty much into, and that's really the next step to a japa, in which you kind of start beginning to start the automatic process of the japa. Meaning it doesn't have to be so intentional. You don't have to sit with your mala bead and do rotations for your mantra to be playing in your head. You wake up and your mantra's playing. You're dancing and your mantra's playing. You're reading and you can still hear the faint sound, the meaning of your mantra playing beneath your meditation of the words you're reading. I've had it happen several times as I've been sitting here with you. It becomes truly a part of your mental body, of your being, of your substance, of your essence, of who you are. And it unfolds in miraculous ways throughout your day. The things that you used to get caught in, you catch yourself being caught in with the help of your mantra. It is a beautiful practice as you navigate through time. It doesn't necessarily begin that way. It does require intense focus and intention, especially if this is your first time trying to do such practices as meditation or intentional focus of the mind. Coming from a place personally, especially being raised in this country that we call America, we've been trained not to be able to do such things with our mind. In fact, we've been trained for distraction and stimulation and so forth. So when you try to settle yourself and stay one point in mind and focus, at first it can seem very, very difficult. And indeed it is very, very difficult. But I promise you, through consistent effort and focus and intention and love and grace, you will find your way. You will always find your way. The seeker will always find their way. There can be no other way. Okay, let us continue. Pronunciation and speed. The mantra should be chanted rhythmically and with clear pronunciation. It should be chanted with feeling and intensity. It should be synchronized with the rotation of the mala. This applies whether the mantra is whispered, aloud, or mental. Chant quickly if the mind is disturbed, slowly if the mind is more relaxed. What is next? Okay, we have a couple suggestions here of how to practice japa. We'll read through those really briefly. Sitting position for japa. Any comfortable meditative sitting pose can be used for japa. Traditionally, it is said that you should face the north or east. There are a vast number of variations of japa. We don't intend to give all of them, merely a representative few, which we consider particularly useful and effective. The methods need little explanation, for they are very simple and we have already described many essential details. Method 1. Take your sitting position. Keep your spine and head erect, but without strain. Be aware of your body. Feel how steadily and relaxed it is. Do not be in a hurry. Try to imagine that you are free from worries, or at least that they can be held in a... that's an interesting word. I'm going to need to research that one for my vocabulary. Abeyance for the duration of the practice. I'm assuming that means away, not held in mind. Then begin to repeat your mantra and rotate your mala, starting from the summit bead. Move each bead in turn so that it synchronizes with mantra repetition. Be aware of the mantra and the rotation of the mala while simultaneously watching the thoughts arise. Don't reject any thoughts. Let them arise, but be aware. All you have to do is watch the process of the mind while simultaneously keeping in touch with the practice of japa. The mantra and the mala movement. The same applies to outside disturbances. Be aware of them, but maintain awareness of the mantra and mala. Continue in this way until you return to the summit beam. Do not cross the summit, but reverse the direction by turning the mala through 180 degrees through your fingers. Continue the practice. Many ideas or distractions will arise. Let them, for this is the nature of the tempestuous mind. Simply remain a witness. After some time, the thoughts will slowly reduce. Your concentration will automatically increase. If you go deeper, visions may appear. Be aware of these. This is verifiable in your life. Let them arise, but observe them. Continue in this manner for the time that you have assigned to the practice. Make sure that you keep account of number and mala rotations. At the end, we recommend using a timer. Well, at least often when we started, it might have been 10 minutes, 5 minutes sometimes. But we'll set that to 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it might be, whatever the availability of our practices and our desire is for that practice. And just get lost in the mala beads. It's very easy to do once you become familiar with the practice. When and where to practice? Sorry, we have another method. Method 2. Pulse Japa. There are various types of pulse japa. It is to be done in association with mental japa. The method is basically the same as method 1, except the mantra and mala rotations are synchronized with the pulse or heartbeat. The most useful places to feel the pulse are the eyebrow center, the heart, the throat, the navel. You can choose any other place, but it should be a place where the pulse beat is clearly felt. We especially recommend awareness of the pulse with mental japa after a duration of articulated japa. This seems to intensify the clarity of the pulse. We especially recommend awareness of the eyebrow center. We also love the awareness of the eyebrow center. Awareness should be on the mantra, mala, and activities of the mind. Also be aware of the pulse if you practice method 2. When and where to practice. You can practice japa at any time and in any place. However, in order to discipline the mind, it is best to practice at a regular time every day. The best times are early morning and before sleep. Japa can also be done as a preparatory practice before doing other meditation techniques. This will calm the mind so that one gains the most out of the concluding practice. Benefits of Japa. Japa gives the same benefits as all other meditative practices. It calms the turbulent mind and helps to expel complexes, neuroses, etc. It does this slowly without disrupting one's life. Japa charges the mind with positive sound vibrations, and this is a wonderful therapy for even the most disturbed mind. It brings about one-pointedness of mind without resorting to forceful concentration. It helps to release the incredibly dormant faculties, and power that is the inheritance of us all. Finally, it leads to meditation. One last passage. Look at you go. You're doing it. General rules and suggestions. For clarity, we will summarize the basic points on japa that we have already discussed. Use a mantra that has been given by your guru. If you have no personal mantra, use the universal mantra Om. As I said, it is your birthright to use I am love if that feels right to you. Rotate your mala with your middle finger, using the thumb and rear ring finger for support. Use your right hand. Use any method of which you are able to make concentration on your mantra and your japa. It does not need to be attributed to any specific fingers unless you feel that is appropriate for you. Don't cross the summit bead while rotating the beads. Turn the mala so that it is rotated in the opposite direction. Relax your mind and body, but don't sleep. Do not concentrate. Be aware. In concentration, one withdraws the attention from all sides to one point. In awareness, one pays attention not only to that one point, but to all thoughts that arise. One does not wrestle with the mind, but slowly tames it by being a witness to all activity. In that awareness, concentration becomes the natural result of that awareness. Eventually, you get to a point where you've cleaned out so much of the muck that concentration of awareness in awareness is all that is left, and that is a beautiful place to be. If necessary, alternate your practice between the articulated japa, the whispered japa, and the mental japa. If the mind is disturbed, stick to articulated japa, chanting out loud. If the mind is calm, do whispered japa. If the mind wanders too much while doing whispered japa, you can go back to articulated japa. And of course, if the mind is calm, do mental japa. Pronounce your mantra clearly and rhythmically. If your mind starts to wander, then the speed can be increased. Don't disclose your mantra to anyone. Within the circle of unity, everything is disclosed. There is nothing for us to hide here. There is no initiation. There is no reason for us all not to be love. We are all love. Try to practice japa regularly in accordance with your practice. Reflect on the meaning of the mantra whenever you have spare time. Thank you, Guru. Blessed to have you here with us today. That is an introduction to japa. There are several more lessons just on this one practice that we plan to share in the future. Again, for ourselves, when we started the spiritual path, the awareness path, the path of becoming more connected to truth and who we are and being able to settle in that, we did indeed invest in a mala, because this was actually one of the first books that we were introduced to. A systematic course in the ancient tantric techniques of yoga and kriya by Swami Satyananda Saraswati. I believe that's as close to the pronunciation as I'm going to get until somebody tells me how to do it. And these transmissions of one of my gurus has been a blessing in all of my mental training, all of my becoming aware, all of my transitioning from the monkey mind, no offense Hanuman, to the single-pointed mind, to the awareness of just blissful being. We did begin practice as is recommended in the book. It naturally transitioned to we just really don't use the mala for practice any longer. We more use it as a signifier to remind us to come back to our practice, which is always rotated in our head in the form of a japa, which will be the next level after you have practiced japa for a while. And we will share our japa practices as we move forward in time. That said, our mantra, I am love, was dictated to us in meditation. It's something we stumbled upon. It's something that just came to us naturally, and we knew immediately that it was for us. And that has unfolded for the last several years in our life, to the point where again it's just automatically in there. Just, I am love. This is my mind, of course. I am love. I am love. We are love. We are love. We are love. Love. It's just always in the back there, and it really does help you take a step back and be more aware of your surroundings, to be more in the moment, in subjective intercourse of life, meaning playing and being with, traveling with, really seeing it for what it is, without all the group mind, all the mentations, all the fluctuations of the mentations of the mind that just used to swim in there so strongly, the judgments and the fears and the whatever have you, that just the neuroses that were in there, that don't belong to me, don't belong to you, they don't belong to us. They've been put in there through the conditionings of our lifetime, and it's very strong in America, and I know we're ready to release that together. And that's probably why you found your way here. And I hope to really travel along this journey in depth with you as we learn and grow together to become more of ourselves, to become more loving, to become more compassionate, to become more giving and understanding, peaceful, serene. It makes me come to tears when I think of this true disruption, the true discontinuity, the true, oh my gosh, just the true suffering and total discombobulation of my mind before being introduced to so many of these wonderful practices that are in the Eastern world, in the mind, who are just, it's just such a blessing. And you will come to understand that as I have no doubt. If you have any questions about japa practice, please submit them to me in any of the normal avenues in which are available to us to communicate these days. And there are many, which is a blessing. We will, if you'd like to join us, exit with continuing in the victory to Hanuman, victory to Ram, who is of course always in our hearts, always in Hanuman's heart, infinitely, and of who you are. So it is you who is in our hearts. thank you for joining us. With love always.